Hello everyone and welcome to the Operation Mechagon Workshop M+ Guide for Warlocks. Mechagon has returned, again, and is deadlier than ever. Tussle Tonks have been redesigned for the new season, introducing new mechanics. Besides Tonks, you'll also be fighting the arena itself. Buzzsaws will periodically emerge from the ground, moving along preset paths marked by lines on the floor. Getting hit deals small amount of damage and knocks you away. No Mercy for you will target random players with Foe Flipper, throwing them into the air and dealing moderate damage while slowing them. When targeted by battle mines, move around to drop them, but do so sparingly to preserve space. At 100 energy, No Mercy will charge at a random player, dealing lethal damage to anyone in its path. When it crashes into the arena wall, it will scatter even more mines across random locations, so watch out. Meanwhile, the Platinum Pummeler is mostly the tank's responsibility. You only have to watch out for Ground Pound, which deals pulsing party-wide damage. The tank will position Pummeler underneath one of the wall hammers, which will strip away a stack of platinum plating, a buff that reduces all damage done to him. Once all stacks are removed, Pummeler will take increased damage until it pulls the plating up again. The bosses must die within seconds of each other, otherwise Electrical Storm will trigger, dealing increasing party damage. Cujo will test your spatial awareness. Throughout the fight, steel crates will drop from above, dealing severe damage and knocking away anyone caught underneath. When heated by Cujo's abilities, these crates will begin to glow. If they're heated a second time, they will explode, dealing damage and knocking away nearby players. The best rule to follow is, stay away from glowing crates. Periodically, Cujo will leap onto 3 players, dealing moderate damage to them and anyone nearby, while also heating any crate in his landing zone. This ability always starts on the player standing furthest away from the boss, so be mindful of positioning. Venting Flames is Cujo's deadliest ability, dealing lethal pulsing AoE damage while heating all crates. To survive, you must LOS him behind an unheated crate. For optimal positioning, stand on the very edge of the crate's hitbox to continue damaging the boss while staying protected. But be precise, the margin for error is extremely small. Cujo will also chomp his primary target, applying a stacking dot. When dispelled, it deals heavy party-wide damage. Machinist's garden requires even more hazard dodging than Cujo. Similarly to the Tussle Tonks arena, the garden itself is out to kill you. It will sprout inconspicuous plants that fixate on a random player and fire at them for 6 seconds. When killed, these plants will leak oil, creating oil fountains that linger on the battlefield. The hidden flame cannon emerges from the center of the arena and rotates left to right, sweeping the area with several fire beams. Getting caught in the beam ignites you, applying a powerful dot. When the beam touches oil fountains, it will cause flaming oil to rain down across the arena. As if that weren't enough, buzz blades will ricochet around the room, dealing heavy physical damage to anyone hit. Fortunately, ranged DPS can stand on the stairs to avoid them, but be careful not to trap yourself there when the flame cannon activates. Demonic Circle can be a great tool here, either to dodge the beam or to return to safety of the stairs once it has passed. Lastly, the boss will also throw a Discom Bomb-ulator at a random player. Avoid getting hit or you'll suffer heavy damage and become disoriented for 9 seconds. King Mechagon is a 2-phase fight. At the start of phase 1, 4 electric orbs will spawn. Touching them deals heavy damage and knocks you back. Throughout the fight, Mechagon will recalibrate these orbs, sending them flying to targeted locations near players. Mega Zap targets a random player, firing a beam that deals moderate upfront damage, applies a dot, and leaves behind a debuff. If you get hit again before the debuff expires, you'll take 100% increased damage, which is almost certainly lethal. Watch who gets targeted, as the boss will never hit the same player twice in a row. Every so often, Mechagon will take off, damaging anyone standing too close. He'll then fixate on a random player and attempt to slice them with his cutting beam, dealing lethal damage to anyone hit. While the beam is active, the boss also does pulsating damage to the entire party. Once you destroy the aerial unit, Mechagon goes full Megazord mode, entering his gigantic robot. He continues to recalibrate the orbs, so stand near the boss to help melee players see their incoming trajectories. In this phase, Megazap becomes Gigazap, firing 3 staggered beams at 3 different players. Just like before, getting hit twice is likely lethal, so stay alert and avoid overlap. Finally, the boss casts Magneto Arm at a random location, pulling in all players and objects while dealing pulsating party damage. The further away you are from the arm, the less damage you take. Once his mecha suit is destroyed, Mechagon jumps out, but at this point he does nothing, just burn him down and you're done. Mechagon's trash is another person's treasure. In the first section, you'll encounter 3 new tonk types. Strider jumps around, dealing physical damage to random players. Rocket barrages players' positions with dodgeable missiles, while Bomb detonates to deal damage to the entire group. After finishing the first boss, you'll come across Metal Gunk and Waste Processing Unit. Metal Gunk covers your entire party with Corrosive Gunk, dealing damage and applying a heal absorb. Waste Processing Unit, on the other hand, casts Mega Drill, which deals pulsating party-wide damage. Before engaging Cujo, you'll need to fight smaller versions of him in the form of Junkyard Dogs. These enemies jump to random players and bite them with fiery jaws, applying a stacking dispellable magic dot. If your tank is doing big pulls, be prepared to use defensives and keep your imp out to assist the healer. Moving forward, you'll encounter some familiar enemies. Mechagon Tinkerers cast Giga Wallop and summon anti-personnel squirrels, which have blast zones that must be avoided. Defense bot MK1 casts Arcing Zap, which applies a dispellable magic dot, while the MK3 version does the same but also casts Short Out, dealing pulsing damage to the party. Blastatron is a mini-boss with 3 abilities. Sonic Pulse is a large dodgeable beam that deals massive damage and silences anyone hit for 8 seconds. Failing to avoid Capacitor Discharge also results in a heavy damage, along with being silenced and pacified for several seconds. Blastatron also has Missile Barrage Aura, which makes him launch unavoidable missiles at the entire party every 3 seconds. Before engaging the third boss, you'll come across Mechagon Mechanic. His tune-up is a channeled heal that can be hard CC'd. Additionally, he casts Overclock, a buff that increases the haste of all mechanical enemies by 20%, stacking up to 5 times. Another mob you'll come across is the Workshop Defender, who summons a shield generator for 20 seconds. While active, it reduces damage taken by 75% for anyone inside, including both players and enemies. It's a good idea to stand inside a shield while it lasts and ignore other damaging mechanics. The only other new enemy before the last boss is the Spider Tank, a weaker version of Blastatron that doesn't have Capacitor Discharge. And that's it, everything you need to know to dismantle Mechagon's defenses. If you found this guide helpful, please hit that like and subscribe, as it means so much to me. You can also watch me live on Twitch, where I stream almost every day. Remember to soulstone and good luck.